um, giving ourselves, giving each other the time and the space, about 20 minutes before we even begin, really, allowing this settling and gathering, connecting however we connect, this whole perception. How is it? This now, this here, this hold of it, this gathering of energy, this experience, physical, emotional, mental, the knowing, this knowing of this knowing. Was 20 minutes or so given to just gathering, settling, collecting, recollecting, recollecting, time, space, now, here, in particular, and the experience of this. The whole of the body, the whole of the breath, the whole of the body breathing, the whole of the sensations, the total of the emotions, the particular of the thought, and that which is not thinking, the knowing. Because we wish ourselves well. We wish ourselves well, we wish to understand. There's an orientation towards the knowing, impulse to understand, experience, life. What is this life? What is it that knows this life? How is this knowing knowing? What's not thinking? And collecting this energy, collecting this presence in this present, here, in this space, now. welcoming this experience, and giving in this experience a gift that is received, and a gift of attention, this knowing, giving life to life. Welcoming in this gathering, knowing this knowing, like this. Life is given, the given is what we're given is as it is, and a gift of attention, a response that's released, uncomplicated, this knowing, the stillness, the silence, sensitivity, respond by release, gift of attention, giving life to life, the breath relaxed in the belly, rising and falling, in breath rising, out breath falling, soft, released, a breath received, released, knowing there's knowing. It's like this. In silence in this space, this here and now, this time, this place, this knowing, this encouragement to gather, to collect, to recollect, in this knowing is given, a knowing of thought, a knowing that knows thought, knows the experience, And this knowing a release. Release and allowing a permission. A breath. A settling and a comfort. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. Sense impression is an irritation. It's a vibration or a disturbance. That's its nature. And it's not supposed to be otherwise. When we, from senses, there's perceptions, and this is where the whole business, from contact to sense impressions to complications. These are the ways that they work, and then the distortions that happen with perceptions are the ones that are an expression of ignorance, an expression of ignoring something or not being aware that we're not aware of something. The awareness is this knowing, and not knowing the knowing, and then not then there's confusion. So the thing about being, the disturbance that is sense impression, any sort of sense impression is actually, as I say, a disturbance. And its nature is to be irritating. That's it. Any sort of noticing of anything is slightly irritating. It has to be, because otherwise we wouldn't notice it. Unless there's, what is not irritating is the knowing of the knowing, because the knowing just is. But any sort of sense impression that the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, or body, or perception through the mind. So we can get really strong perceptions which are built up over much complication and can come due to causes and conditions. I know that for me, a sense of a strong rush of emotion can come. And it's part of what a life is about. It's part of the sort of the dumping of past food, part of the food of the consciousness or senses or karma, part of the nutriments. And they get dumped through emotions sometimes. They come through, I don't know quite when. And they just, like the food that you eat, it just needs to be released sometimes. And then it's a strong, you can get, the story is of when 79, when we were at the Manjushri Institute, somebody was asking Ajahn Vajiro about strong anger that came up, strong waves of anger, strong emotional, and it was described as anger. And certainly, I expect most of us have either had strong anger or strong fear or strong lust or strong confusion, just something that's come up and we don't know quite where it's come from or what it's doing there. Or we think we know what's triggered it, but then the response is disproportionate. Get angry at a tiny little thing or get strongly caught in some emotion. Just triggered something that, and then what the heck do I do with this? And can it be, what am I supposed to do with this? How can I get rid of this? I don't want this. Or maybe I do want this. I want more of it. And yet it's just something that's passing through or passing out. And Pochar's suggestion with the anger was to put a clock in front of this person. So he suggested putting a clock in front of them and then deciding, let's see if this anger can stay for 2 hours at least. I don't know whether they did or not, but one of the strong images that comes from all of this is later, as he was leaving the Manjushri Institute, somebody given him a flower, and he held up a flower. And one of the pictures of Ajahn Chah that many people have seen is him holding up a flower. And the flower is the symbol of this anicca, this flower will wither. And one of the strong misperceptions or distortions or perversions, as I sometimes like to call them, therefore, is to think that that which is anicca is nicca, that which is transitory, impermanent, uncertain, not the absolute, is somehow fixed, unchanging, permanent, and the absolute. Perceiving that which is anicca as nicca is perverted. It's a perversion, it's a distortion. And it's acting on ignorance. It's ignoring the fact that ignoring something that is inherent in all phenomena that are compounded, that have become dependent upon conditions. When the causes and conditions are not there, they will not be there. So the causes and conditions of anger, when they're not there, they'll not be there. So it's an ignorance that is being done when we perceive that which is anicca as nicca. So putting a clock in front of one and seeing how permanent something is a way of actively noticing anicca. How much effort would need to go into keeping oneself angry for 2 hours? Solid. Could you do it? Or would you get bored? Or would you get distracted? And then would you actually see that which is stressful as stressful and not see it as not stressful? Would you actually see that which is dukkha as dukkha and not as sukha? No, it's a heavy weight carrying around anger. It is stressful. We can get into anger. We can certainly wind ourselves up in anger. And maybe you can get it going for 2 hours. And maybe you think that there's something right about it. Or maybe you'll just keep coming back to it. Keep going to that anger. Keep going to that and thinking, well, I'm right. I should be angry. This is wrong. And that is the other distortion. That's the distortion of seeing and getting pleasure out of something that's actually stressful. It's a distortion. It's a perversion. And it's an ignorance. Because anger is such a harmful thing. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. And of course, you can get angry that you're angry, or somebody else can get angry that you're angry. And that's just adding to it. And I can certainly get angry that I'm angry. I shouldn't feel angry. But anger just is noticing something's wrong. And maybe you've been noticing something's wrong for a long time, and this is something that has come up. There's nothing wrong with anger. Acting on anger is, well, it's such a painful thing to experience, and acting out of pain, I know for me, from my experience, pain makes me stupid because I just want to get rid of the pain. And that's, no, I don't actually have a clear way of acting when I'm acting through pain. And stupidity is painful itself. So there's a double dose. And this is the other distortion, which is taking it personally. Thinking that it is mine, that there's a self, thinking that it's for me, it's mine, so I must be here. This distortion of taking that which is not self as self. The anger has come up because of causes and conditions. What they are, you really do not need to fuss more about. It's like this. It shifts, it changes. It's completely out of control. It's not really mine, because if it's out of control, it's not mine. It's just something passing through. What to do with it? Endure, stay with it, or notice what's not angry. Notice what knows the anger. You don't have to pick it up. This whole thing about picking something up, making more of a burden out of it, or indulging in it, getting all caught up in the self-righteousness of it. I should be angry. And it feels good sometimes to be angry. It's just, there are other strong emotions also. Strong senses of love or lust or wanting or trying to get. These all come and go, dependent upon conditions. They're just passing through. To pretend they're not there is to try to, again, distort, trying to make them somehow, sort of cover them up, hide them, beautify them, or give them a sense of polish, or justify them. These are all ways of covering up. And the big covering up that we do a lot is thinking that which is basically all bits and pieces, like things like this body, which is just hair of the head, hair of the body, nails, teeth, and skin. If you just split them up, they're just like that. If you see them all together, you can get infatuated with them and make a whole business about them, take them personally, recognize it, think that they're mine, or get upset or get happy with them. Because it's sort of covering things up or not really analyzing things carefully is a distortion. A distortion. It's not seeing the distortion as the distortion is the way out. Not trying to say it shouldn't be there. This is not sure. This perception is always, always, always not sure. It's always subject to stresses and strains. It's just as it's come about. It's not personal, this perception. And it's just this. And it's all bits and pieces of stuff that's come together. And the distortions are taking it as something that's permanent, something that's certain, always going to be there. Something that is, oh, so nice, wanting it, getting infatuated by it, or getting caught in it in some way, or getting angry that it's angry and getting righteous about it, or getting righteous that it shouldn't be there, so thinking I shouldn't be angry, and thinking that it's right to think that it shouldn't be angry. And then, so it's all, then that's all taking it personally and not recognizing that it's just due to causes and conditions. Things arise and they cease. And there's the knowing. There's no need to make more problems about stuff. There's no need to think things should be other than the way that they are. If they weren't meant to be this way, they wouldn't be this way. This is how they are, here and now. This is the time. This is the space. This is the place. This is the now, here and now. What is the release that can happen? What will lead to less pain and stress now and in the future? What is the wise and beautiful response to this moment, here and now? And for the most part, we don't know. And knowing that we don't know is great. There's a certain humility in that, a certain trust in this knowing the limitation. This is how we act, and this is time and space. This is what life is. And there's going to be death. And what's the way out? The way out is not being born. Not being born. Not being born in this moment, not taking this moment personally as this is me and mine and I. It's causes and conditions. There really is nothing to get rid of, nothing to get, nowhere to go and nothing to become. And yet, this is what we have. And we do the best we can. This body is his body. It belongs to nature. These sensations that are experienced in this body are always irritating, always a bit of trouble, always a bit stuck, always a bit limited, always subject to some sort of stress and strain. And understanding this and not making more of it. I shouldn't get angry. I shouldn't have these emotions. These are terrible. Or I should do more of this. This is lovely. I like this. All of these complications and extras, which, the result of which we're experiencing here and now. And when we distort or get perverted about them and think they're somehow right and permanent, and somehow, this is how, not that they're not. It's just how it is. Seen in the correct way, when the distortions are seen in the correct way, it's just this. The uncertain is uncertain. The dukkha is dukkha. It's not personal. And it's come due to causes and conditions which are in themselves as they are. They're not some sort of completeness. The completeness is in this knowing. The knowing is this. So, if there's strong emotions or strong ideas or strong perceptions about stuff, is it really as it is? Really question it. Is it really as it is? And where is the refuge? Everything that you think about yourself, perceive about yourself, is it really like this? Is it really worth treating it as something that is? What are the distortions that are happening? What are the perversions that are being fed? What is the ignorance that is being practiced? Because understanding this, understanding stress is a noble relationship, not adding to stress by feeling inadequate, feeling one needs more or wants to get rid of something, or wants to get on to the next thing. Staying and practicing this knowing that is not suffering, that's not taking it personally, that knows that there is that which can be done, that which can be practiced, is knowing. This is what we can endure, not take too personally. It's like this. Smile at it. Life. The receiving of experience that's given, and the giving of attention to this experience. A giving. A gift. So, I offer this much. And if there are questions, please write. But for now, if this is any use, great. If it's not, never mind. You could have turned off a long time ago if you're listening to the recording, or you could have gone somewhere else. It's like this. It's actually, this is an okay way to relate. Very strange. We're all in our own time and space. And this is the knowing. So wishing you all well. Thank you. If you'd like to write any of the questions, please do in the chat box. Or if you'd like to turn on your cameras, but keep your microphones off for now. But if there are no questions, never mind. You can look up sometime if you wish the 4 distortions. Vipalasa, it's called in Pali. Okay. Lots of thank yous. Not many questions. I don't really know what, unexpected strong emotions or strong feelings that come through are really about. they've come due to causes and conditions, and they pass through. And describing them as something that has come through the nutriments of the senses, consciousness, and karma, as something just as the way of that things are digested, and maybe they're digested through dreams or just as passing through emotions that one doesn't really know where they came from. But I think so, just to let them go, not make more of them. If one adds more heat to them, and adds, one goes back to one's, as the Rinpoche said, like a dung beetle going back to his pile of dung. If you push them away from their pile of dung, they just go straight back to it. But it's dung. It's just something that's passing through. It's already gone. Let it out. Let go. How do we even get a glimpse of what is permanent? The thing about what's permanent and what is unborn, unoriginated, uncreated, and unformed is it's always here now. The gateway is through the knowing. The gateway is the knowing. Know the knowing. Know the heart. Allow this. Now, where you don't need to get rid of everything. You don't feel the need to get rid of anything. You don't need to feel the need to get anything. We don't feel the need to become anything. You don't need to feel the need to go anywhere. It's not me and I. It's not I that gets enlightened. It's the knowing of the I. How do you deal with strong emotions such as trauma and keep returning there? If you need therapy, get therapy. If you need drugs, you need drugs. If you need help, get help. But it comes down to this knowing. And I don't feel that anybody's been free from trauma. The big trauma for all beings is birth. And actually the birth, whenever there's that feeling of, gosh, what am I doing here? What am I supposed to do now? Oh, I'm separate. Oh, somebody please look after me. That's a birth. And that's a birth. And that's a trauma. The trauma, actually, every moment is a trauma of some sort. And strong sensations, yes. But it's all irritation. It's all trauma. But keeping going back to it, it's not that there's, when there's a trauma to the body, you take medicine, you make sure the cut is disinfected and looked after, or maybe you do actually lose a limb, or maybe there is some sickness. The body's the body, and the mental trauma is the same sort of thing. You need to look after it. And some people, they don't recover. But some people maybe cope in different ways, work around it. Trauma is trauma. I'm not denying trauma, but it's part of life. Life is traumatic. Birth is traumatic. Experience is traumatic. And yes, there's stronger and weaker, and there's all that sort of stuff, but some people deal with it in different ways. I'm not trying to provide all the answers. And I do feel that psychological help, physiological help, spiritual and mental health help is important. Can help, just as it can with the whole business of doctoring. But none of it ever cures death. There's no doctor that's ever cured death. The only way to cure death is not to be born. Everything that begins ends. And that's not depressing. It's actually quite helpful to recognize, because it means one doesn't have to be around forever. When people ask Ajahn Sumedharama to live till he's 120, somebody asked him the other day to live till he was 1,000. And you think, what on earth are they trying to do? Torture them? No, it's a whole business. Okay.